What's up, you guys? Welcome to my van tour. I've been living out of this van, traveling around North America full-time for almost 2 years now, so I thought it was a time I give you guys a proper tour. Her name is Vangelina Jolie, and she's stacked with all kinds of awesome features. We're talking hidden shower and bathroom, rooftop deck, surround sound, queen-size bed, full kitchen, and so many more awesome features. Let's go check it out. Welcome to the inside of my van. Vangelina is a 2019 Ram Promaster van, the 159-inch non-extended version that I bought used from a dealership up in New Hampshire with about 38,000 miles on it or so. Fun fact, this was actually an Amazon Prime delivery van before I bought it and did the conversion in here. I bought it as an empty cargo van and did the whole conversion myself with some help from my dad. So everything you see in this van, I built with the help from my dad. Now, I know a lot of van tours like this start off in the front and then they make their way to the back, but I want to mix it up, and so we're going to start in the back today, and then we're going to go to the front. And it's my van tour, so we're going to do what I say. All right, follow me to the bedroom. Welcome to the bedroom. This is where I sleep, obviously, and I have a 4-inch thick memory foam mattress in here, with the bottom 2 inches being like a high-density foam and the top 2 inches being more of a softer foam, so it's super comfortable to sleep on. Haven't had any problems in the almost 2 years now that I've been sleeping on it. And my bed is actually queen size or just under queen size. And the reason why it's such a big bed for a van, primarily because one of the main goals I had with doing van life was to be able to mountain bike and ski in adventure places. And I wanted to keep my mountain bikes inside the van just for security reasons and to keep them clean, so I didn't want to have them outside. So because of that, I really prioritized having them in the van, and a fixed bed with keeping the bikes underneath is the best way that I found to do that. But with that, I get a ton of storage underneath the bed here that I can access from the inside or from the back, and I also don't have to convert my bed from a dinette every day. Now, I'm 5'11", or 6 feet if you ask my hinge profile, and I have no problem sleeping side to side in this bed. So I actually sleep this way. And so, like, feet up against this wall, and then head, I still have couple inches of space up here. And so you'll notice that I have these cutouts, so cutout over here and cutout over there, and with that it lets me get 6'2" from wall to wall sleeping inside the van, so no issues of someone of my height sleeping in here anyway. I also have a couple of outlets on this wall over here, so if I'm working or want to charge my phone from in bed, I can do that easily. And then these cabinets up here is where I store all of my clothes. So these both open up and they're on gas struts to keep them held up. And then my clothes are just stored in these cloth bins right here. So it makes it super easy. They're all organized like shirts, pants, shorts. It's just easy to find and access when I need. And then you pull out what you want. Before I forget to mention it, in the description of this video, I have a spreadsheet with everything that I used in my van build. So these gas struts, these cloth bins, every single item used in this van build is linked in that spreadsheet with prices and links to Amazon or wherever I got it from. So if you're interested in anything you see in the build, go ahead and check out that spreadsheet. Now, I also have a secret way that I can watch TV from in bed here, and it's actually stored in these upper cabinets. So in order to watch TV from in bed here, I simply just like open up this upper cabinet here, pull out this bin, and then we have a hidden monitor arm and wires that run to my entertainment system, which I'll show later in the video. And I have a monitor that goes on this arm right here, so I can actually watch TV while I'm lying comfortably in bed. And I don't have to have my TV up here all the time, ruining the aesthetic of the van or just taking up space that it doesn't need to. So this is a 27-inch computer monitor that doubles as my TV and my work computer when I'm in my office area, which I'll show in a minute. So I just slide the computer monitor on that arm, and then I plug in the power and the HDMI cable, and now we're good to watch TV. And then to take it off, I just undo the wires, take it off the mount, store it in the front, take the computer arm, and push that back in. That easy. And then for sound, I actually put surround sound in the van. So I have 2 speakers in the back doors over here, and then 2 more speakers up front, so I can hear the TV from wherever I am in the van. And then last but not least, back here, we have my skylight. So I can use this for either stargazing when I'm laying in bed, or it also doubles as my hatch to get up onto the roof. So I have a rooftop deck on the top of the van, which I'll show in a minute. But yeah, so this is how I just stand up here and I climb through here, and that's how I get onto the roof. You may be wondering, Joey, does it get hot when you're sleeping in the van in the summer in the desert? Yes, it does. And one way that I kind of combat that is with this max air fan right here. So I set the fan to suck mode, and then I open up my skylight in the back there, and that gets a nice cool breeze that goes right across the bed, cooling me down. And if that's still not enough, I actually have a small little zero breeze air conditioning unit to cool me down as well. But that's really only for the hottest nights when the fan's just not quite doing the job and I need a little extra power. This right here is definitely the most unique feature of my van build, and what I think really differentiates it from others. So you may be thinking, Joey, this just looks like a normal closet, but it's actually my hidden shower, but it's also a wardrobe, but it's also a pantry. I really wanted to have a shower inside the van, so after biking or skiing, I could clean off without needing to go find one somewhere. And so I don't get my bed all dirty if I can't. But I really didn't want to sacrifice the space that a full indoor shower takes up. So this is the compromise that I came up with. So I have the full hidden shower and storage attached to the back sides of these closet doors so that they come out automatically when I open the shower. So I have these two latches, one on the top and one on the bottom to keep it closed. And then I have a light in there as well. That's just in this little panel right here. And then we open it up and we have full pantry on this door with all kinds of spices and general pantry type items. And then on this side, we have a hanging wardrobe, so for anything that can't be folded and put in my bins up there. Also a full-size mirror on the back side of the door so that I can see what I look like before going out. And then when I want to shower, I just step in here and close this door. So that sliding plastic door keeps all the water from getting to the inside of the van, and it just drains from the shower pan through the floor of the van to my gray water tanks that are housed underneath the van. In here, I also have a portable toilet that I can take out for more space when I'm showering, as well as hooks on the wall to dry towels or bathing suit or any other gear that may be wet. So usually I just have like my gym bag hanging up there and my towel drying. This is also where my dirty clothes hamper is too. It's just on the back side of this door, and it's just a cloth bag that I can throw dirty clothes in to take to laundromats when I do laundry, making it super easy. It's definitely a little bit tight, but you gotta make compromises when you live in a van, and this is one that I'm definitely glad that I made. All right, let's check out the kitchen now. Now, I don't have any propane or gas in my van, so everything in here runs off of electric, including my cook surfaces. So I have a 2-burner induction stove that I take out from the lower drawer under my bench seat, and then I just put it on top of the countertop. And I also have a Ninja Foodi air fryer and pressure cooker. So with those two things, I can cook pretty much anything that I need to in here. You just have to be mindful of how much power that you're using when it comes to induction and air fry cooking. I also have a full 6 feet of countertop space with a countertop extension. So from this wall over here, all the way to the passenger seat is all countertop, and it extends up, which is phenomenal when it comes to cooking, or even just having space to like put stuff down in the van is super nice. For my sink, I have this nice big 18-inch by 20-inch sink, and I usually leave my cutting board in here so it doesn't like take up storage room anywhere else. So this cutting board I actually cut right from the butcher block countertop itself. And this is a birch countertop that I then stained with coffee grounds actually to get it this nice almost walnut looking color, and then sealed it on top of it. One of the things I was not going to go into van life with was a small sink where water gets everywhere every time I do dishes. So I love this massive sink. It makes it super easy to do dishes and not have to worry about water splashing everywhere. Then we got the ratcheting paper towel holder right above the sink, and then in this cabinet up here is where I keep all my like plates and bowls and some like salt and pepper and a couple other just like miscellaneous kitchen stuff. Another thing I really like about my van is my big 130 liter fridge from Truck Fridge. So with this I can store pretty much like all the food I could possibly need living in a van. When you live in a van, it's not as big a hassle to go to grocery stores either because you're already like out and about, so it's not that big of a deal. But with this it makes it even less of a big deal because I can store so much food in here. And then in the lower kitchen cabinets you have what you would pretty much find in any kind of house kitchen cabinets. You got your junk drawer. Can't have a house or a van without a junk drawer. It's a necessity. And then there's a bunch of random stuff in this drawer, so I keep like kitchen knives and some other kitchen appliances and stuff in there. And then this one is my main utensil drawer, so all kinds of cooking utensils go in here. And then in the lower one, we got mixing bowls, mortar and pestle, and a couple other miscellaneous things. And then in this cabinet is where I keep most of my cleaning supplies and toiletries, and just other general kitchen or van maintenance kind of things you may need. Oh, and all these cabinets are secured with magnetic latches so they don't come undone when I'm driving. In addition to my fridge and shower pantry, this is also where I keep some food. So if we open it up, this is where I keep like bread and any kind of snack food, peanut butter, protein, and then just kind of miscellaneous stuff that doesn't really have any other place. And then in this cabinet, this is like my electronics area. So this is where all of my internet router and any kind of switches and monitoring system live. I have a lot of electronics and stuff in the van, so it kind of needed its own entire cabinet. So this is the motherboard or the brain of Vangelina here. In the back corner over there, we have my router. So that's how I get internet. I have a cellular antenna on the roof of the van and then a cellular router in there with an unlimited data card in there. So that gets me internet anywhere that you get cell signal for working when I'm on the road or just streaming Netflix or whatever that needs internet. Then moving down, this is my security system. So I have a security system in the van with some cameras and motion sensors. And then every door entry point into the van has a trip sensor. So that way when a door is open, I can get an alert to notify me. If I'm not near the van, then I know that somebody is opening the door. And then this is an alarm, so it'll sound and it'll call the police and it'll alert me if anyone tries to break into the van. Then moving down from there, we have my stereo. So this is my house stereo. So this is completely separate from like the van stereo. So this one goes to like these two speakers down here, and also the two speakers in the back of the van as well. And so I can play anything from radio, or I can connect my phone via Bluetooth or an aux cable, or I also have it running through HDMI so that my Fire Stick or my Nintendo Switch sound. So any sound that goes through that will also go through the speakers. I would explain in depth how I set that all up, but I'm gonna need to do a totally separate video for that because it would take a while to explain. Then moving down, we have my Cimarine Pico monitoring system. So this is what I use to see how much battery power I have, what the power draw is in the van at any given time. And I've also wired up my gray water tank and my freshwater tank with some tank level sensors. So this shows me exactly how much water I have in each of those tanks at any given time as well. Super easy readout, anybody can understand it, nothing confusing about it whatsoever. And again, if you want to know any of the exact products or pricing or anything that I used for any component in the van, all of these things are listed in that spreadsheet that I put the link for in the description. Then we also have the switch to turn on my water heater so I can have hot water when I'm showering or doing dishes. And then this is where my light for the shower is, and also my water pump and inverter switch as well to turn the inverter on and off. Then, like I mentioned just a second ago, I have an Amazon Fire Stick back there and a Nintendo Switch for gaming, so I can play games or watch TV when I'm laying in bed, or I can also put my TV right here on this swing arm and watch stuff right there. Another thing that I have in here that I'd be willing to venture that no other van lifer has in their van is I actually have a NAS, or a network attached storage, that runs a Plex media server for me. And what that does is, even if I don't have an internet connection, it still lets me watch any movies or TV shows that I have saved onto this server. So I can essentially watch Netflix or any of my movies, even if I don't have an internet connection, if I'm camping out in the middle of nowhere. I'll make a whole dedicated video on how all of this stuff works, because I definitely can't fit that into this video right here. Making our way up to the front of the van, now we got my bench seat / pots and pans storage. So under the seat is where I house my Ninja Foodie air fryer pressure cooker, as well as all of my pots and pans for cooking on my induction stove. I also have a mount right here for my Lagoon table, which is totally like movable and swingable wherever I want it to go, so it just slides on there. And then now we have a table that I can move and like swivel it however I need it to go. And yeah, this is where I'll usually either eat dinner from or work from here, but I can also swivel around the driver's side and the passenger side chair if I want to work from either of those spots as well. You may have even noticed my Google Home Mini up in the corner up here, which works just as it would in a normal house. So I can talk to it, tell it to put stuff on my grocery list, ask about the weather, or if I'm ever feeling lonely as a solo van lifer, I can just, talk to it and like, hey Google, how you doing?
Why don't you go find some real human friends to talk to instead of asking me dumb questions all the time?
Okay, thanks. Now if I wanted to work from my driver's side chair that swivels around, this is how I would do that. So just get up, then there's a little lever right here that I just pull, spin the chair around, put it back, and then that's how I sit over here. The table swivels around over here. Then I'll just grab my external monitor and put that on this swing arm right here. And then all I gotta do is grab my laptop and an HDMI cable to plug my laptop into the screen right here. And now I have a dual monitor set up for working. So this is a 27-inch computer monitor. I can have a second screen when I'm working. Right now I work part-time as a software engineer from the road, but I also do a lot of content stuff on the side as well, which makes this setup excellent for when you're doing a lot of editing or programming. It's great for both. And then just to show you that this chair also turns around. And then I can still flip up this countertop extension if I want to. I can either eat lunch or do whatever I want right over here as well. So it's just another spot for eating and dining and hanging out. So now this chair swivels, that chair swivels. You got the bench seat, so those are all like facing each other if I want to have friends over. And then the bed also turns into a couch that faces the inside and it faces the outside, which I'll show you right now. So the bed to couch transition is multi-purpose. One, it gives me more seating if I don't want to sit either in the front or I have more people in here, so we have an extra space to sit on the couch bed back here. And two, it lets me get access to the storage that's under the bed from inside the van. So just using one of these like metal pipes that I got at Home Depot, you just flip this up, and then there's a little pipe hinge here and a hole drilled in the wood here. And then that keeps it popped up. And then I have a second one for the other side, so it's all balanced out. So now when I do this, I open up the back doors and it gives me a view to the outside. So if I'm parked at a beach or on the mountains or whatever, I just get beautiful view sitting on my couch looking outside from inside the van. Or I can prop up the other side and have the couch facing inwards if I want to be facing inside the van. And then this also gives me access to all of my storage under here. So I do a lot of music stuff too, and with this, I was able to actually fit and access from inside the van an electric guitar, acoustic guitar, a 61 key MIDI keyboard, and a bass guitar as well. And those I can all get from right in here. Just like pull it up, easy. Before moving on to the garage, I just want to point out my heater right here. So this is a Chinese diesel heater and this is a gas van. So I installed a separate fuel tank just for this heater. And this is mainly so when I'm skiing up in the mountains, I don't freeze to death in the middle of the night. This paired with the spray foam insulation that I have on the floors, walls, and ceilings of this van keep me very toasted even in sub-zero temperatures. For lighting my van, you've probably noticed these puck lights that are directly above my head, and you may have even noticed the LED strip lights that are along the top of the ceiling on the sides of the van as well. But I also have some under cabinet lighting under this cabinet and this cabinet right there, and then I even have some toe kick lighting underneath my lower cabinet as well. These puck lights are dimmable to be however bright or dim that I want them to be. And then the LED strip lights I can actually control with an app on my phone, and I can change the colors and do a whole bunch of crazy stuff with them. It's not so much fun to see when it's daylight like this, but when it's nighttime, it'll look like this. And this is what the LED strip lights look like at night. So you can see still get a good amount of light in here, and I have full control from my phone to change the colors of the lights if I want to. So we can go orange or red or blue or purple, green. We can go all kinds of different colors in here. We're gonna have different scenes if we want to have some nice mood lighting, or if we want something exciting, or we can even activate party mode. Hey Google, activate party mode. Just in case you need to have a van rave or anything, you never know when they'll come in handy. All right, that about does it for lighting. Let's move on to the next part of the tour. And then just a few quick things in the cab that I want to show before we go to the garage. First is that I changed out the regular 3-inch display for a bigger 10-inch touchscreen Apple CarPlay display, which game changer when you're driving long distances in the van. The other thing is I added this dash cam mirror. So this is actually a live feed to a camera that I have pointing out the back side of the van. So this acts as a normal rear view mirror would, but it's actually a video playing a live feed of what the back of the van sees. When you have all the stuff in the van, a rear view mirror is not going to do you any good because you can't see anything because of all the stuff blocking the way. But with this, it's like I have a regular rear view mirror, which is very nice for trying to like back into places or just driving and seeing what's behind you. I also installed an under-seat subwoofer underneath the driver's seat because the bass wasn't kicking quite like I wanted it to, but now we're good. And then lastly up here is I keep this little like high-vis vest, and then I just throw it on the dash like that if I'm going to be parking somewhere in the city and I want to seem a little bit stealthier and more like a construction van. Since I don't have any like outside ladders or anything else on my van, and I have the 2 pipes on the top of the roof, it looks more like a contractor van, which helps me blend in cities more. One question I get a lot of the time is asking me about the black tubes that are on the top of the van there. And the main purpose of those is to just hide what's on the roof. Though it adds a component of stealth to the van where you can't see what's on the roof. And it makes it look more like a contractor van, which is helpful when I'm parking in cities. So those tubes paired with the high-vis vest that I throw on the dashboard, I don't ever get bothered when I'm parking overnight in cities. And this way you can't see the solar panel or the rooftop deck when you're looking at it from ground level. A lot of people will say their van is stealth, but then you got a big max air fan on this roof, and that's pretty much a giveaway. So instead of just trying to minimize what's on the roof, I went with the hiding it and disguising it approach. Now, if you know what you're looking for, obviously you're going to be able to tell that this is a camper van, but it just helps you to not get second glances all the time, which is what I was going for in this stealth build. Those tubes are empty, so I could actually store stuff in them if I wanted to. I have a latch on the back that opens up and lets me put stuff in there. They're currently empty, but if I wanted to, I could put, you know, tarps or fishing poles or whatever I want in there, but I don't fish and I haven't found something good to put in there yet. So right now they're empty and they're just there for stealth and disguise. Before we get to the back, I just realized I never showed you guys my outdoor table. So I have this outdoor table right here that's on a lever, and then this just plops down. And then now if I'm enjoying outdoors, as you do when you live in a van, I can have a table to either like plug in my phone and charge it or cook outside. I can put my stovetop right on here and cook from here. And it just gives me a little extra space for putting stuff when I'm outside. And then when you're done, you just fold it up. That stays up with a magnet. You redo the latch. You're good to go. All right, let's check out the back now. Here in my garage, we got all my adventure and fun stuff. We got 2 mountain bikes and 1 campground bike. We got 2 pairs of skis. We got all my musical instruments, and this is also where my plumbing system and my electrical system are. One of my favorite things is that my bikes are easy access. So to get the mountain bikes out of the van, all you gotta do is take this slide out tray, and now I can just pop the bikes off super easily when I want to ride them and then put it right back on. And then my skis live underneath my water tank here as well. So they just pull out super easily and then go back in. Almost forgot to mention the outdoor shower as well. So this lets me clean off the bikes or shower off when I'm at the beach. And yeah, it's just nice to have an outdoor shower and an indoor shower for that flexibility. So I took out all the stuff in my garage and moved the bikes out so I can show you guys my electrical system. The things I do for you. You're welcome. In order to protect the electrical system from the bike handles or anything hitting it, I just have this piece of plywood that just slides in and out so I can access it easily. So we're gonna move this out of the way so I can show you what's behind here. All right, here's the electrical system. I'm not gonna go super in depth right now because I'll need a full-length video to really explain what's going on. But the important things to note is I have 400 amp hours of lithium-ion batteries, 3000 watt inverter charger. We have our solar charge controller, which goes to 400 watts of solar up on the roof, and then my DC to DC battery charger. So I have 3 ways of getting power into the van. I can get it through the solar panel. The second is whenever I'm driving the van, this DC to DC charger takes the power from the alternator and the van battery and uses that to charge the battery bank back here. And then the third way is just shore power. So I can plug into any kind of outlet through the inverter and it'll charge the batteries that way. Then we got this distribution block right here. So this is where all of my fuses and breakers are. So if anything electrical in the van isn't working, this is the first place I come to check. You'll also notice that I have lights in the garage here. So if I need to get anything back here or something stops working and it's nighttime, I can still see easily back here and fix it as needed. I also built a battery tower like this, so all my batteries are stacked, but the weight's not on each battery. You'll see the weight is going through this structure right here. That just gives me more space to put everything else in here by stacking the batteries up that way. And then opposite my electrical system, we have my water and plumbing system. So starting off, we got my nice big 32-gallon freshwater tank that sits over the wheel well, and then I have a gray water tank that sits underneath the van that I've mounted up. And then moving forward, we got my Hell House sediment filter, so all the water coming from the water tank gets filtered before it goes into anything else. And then I also have a separate 3-stage drinking water filter that sits underneath the sink at the faucet tap right there. Then we got the electric water pump and the accumulator to push the water through the line so I can get it to the shower and the sink. And then we have my water heater right here. So this is a 4-gallon electric water heater, and it'll take around 10 minutes or so to heat the water from whatever temperature it is in the tank to hot for showering and doing dishes and stuff. All the plumbing is internal into the van, so there's no plumbing running to the outside of the van except what drains to the gray water tank. And the reason I did that is so that in the wintertime, I don't have to worry about stuff freezing as long as I keep the temperature inside the van above freezing, which I do because I live in the van in the winter and I don't like it being below freezing in the van when I'm in there. So this is all half pipe PEX tubing, so which is like super easy and flexible to work with. And these are all shark bite fittings, which work great and haven't had a single leak in the 2 years that I've been in the van now. So we definitely recommend. So let's go check out the roof, because that's nice and open and I can spread out up there. All right, let's go. My rooftop deck, so I can come up here and chill or stargaze at night, or if I'm at the beach I can, just lounge up here and overlook at the ocean, and it's really nice. A lot of times I'll come up here and just eat lunch if I'm in a park or something. Then we got these tubes on the side which are good for You know, just placing your legs over it and it's not so harsh on the legs. Then a lot of mornings, if it's nice, I'll just come and stretch up here in the morning, or you can just lay out and chill. So my roof is broken up into basically two sides. We have the rooftop deck side, which is this side, and then we have the solar panel side. And so I have one 400-watt solar panel on the roof, one massive panel, and that brings power to the whole van, along with my alternator charger and my shore power inlet. Yeah, that's pretty much the roof. We got max air fan, cellular antenna right there, junction box for my wiring to go through the roof. And then on this side, we have my massive 400-watt solar panel. So I opted for just one big panel instead of multiple ones that I have to wire up together. So it's just easier. And then this is a commercial grade panel as well. So it's really good, like hail or stuff falls on it. And another nice thing about this panel, I don't know if you know this about solar panels, but some of them, if you block just one of the cells like that, it renders the whole panel useless. It's not going to get any power from the sun. But with this one, if you block one of the cells like that with like just a tree branch or snow or whatever, only that cell or that section of cells becomes invalid and useless. The rest of the panel still functions as it should and as it normally would, which is great for cloudy days or if you're in the woods and there's tree branches everywhere. So I've been very happy with this panel. And that's gonna wrap it up for this van tour. If you stayed this long to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like the video or the van, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Or if you wanna see more in-depth videos on different parts of the van, or just see what daily van life adventures are like as I travel on the road full time, make sure you subscribe. I got a lot more videos coming for you soon. All right, peace.